minute for everyone to join, and then we shall get started with it. Until then, just a minute for everyone.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar. My name is Gurdeep and I'm a Customer Success Manager for Fieldwire. We're really excited to have you here as we walk through all the essential features that make Fieldwire a powerful tool for construction teams like yours. So today's session is going to be focused on one of the biggest operational challenges that construction teams face today, and that's maintaining efficient and consistent QA/QC processes. And it's doing this whilst also keeping projects on program, reducing rework, and improving visibility across teams. So today we'll be showing you how Fieldwire connects the field and the office for streamlined inspections, improved accountability, and to manage quality workflows in real time. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we crack on. So the webinar is being recorded. Everyone in here, you will be sent a link to the recording after the session. Due to the number of attendees, you will all be muted. So if you do have any questions, please add them to the chat box found at the bottom of the webinar window. And also please keep an eye out for live polls. So we want to take the opportunity to learn from our audience. So if you can take part in those, they would be greatly appreciated. So just a few introductions then as to who you've got from us in Fieldwire. So like I said, myself, I'm Gurdeep. I'm a Customer Success Manager, and I'm just going to today be overseeing the chat, answering any questions, and maybe posting some links for some useful articles as well. And here we've got Nikita, who's also a CSM, and she will guide you through today's webinar. Nikita, over to you.
Great. Perfect. Thanks, Gurdeep. Hi, everyone. Welcome, and thank you so much for taking the time out today to join today's webinar. I'm Nikita. I'm the Customer Success Manager for the GB and Ireland team here. A little bit about myself, just like most of our construction teams over here and customer success managers, we all come with a background in construction. So before joining Fieldwire, I was about an architect and project manager for about 6-7 years, and then been with Fieldwire for almost 3 years now. So I work closely with like construction teams to help digitize their workflows, improve collaboration in site and office teams, and similar to today, simplifying their QA and QC processes using Fieldwire. So I'm really happy that everybody could join today's webinar. Before we actually get into the demonstration and the agenda for today, there's going to be a quick poll. I'd love to know where everyone is from and what roles do you work into your companies as well. So it would be great if you can answer those polls. Perfect. Thank you so much for your responses. For today's agenda, this is what I have prepared. For anybody who's new to the system or new to Fieldwire, a quick overview of what Fieldwire is. Then we will move on to why QA/QC processes break down. So a little bit of pain points there that we can look upon and see if this is what resonates with you. Also, what good QA/QC looks like. So before we actually go into the live demonstration, which is going to be a mix of web and tablets, actually understanding what good QA/QC or efficient QA/QC might look like. Post that, we will leave some time, around 10 minutes, for Q&A as well. So please put your questions in the chat. There's Gurdeep answering those as we will be taking them at the end of the session as well. Perfect. Now moving on into the overview. What is Fieldwire? Fieldwire is a all-in-one construction software. It is a mobile as well as a desktop application that delivers several features which are designed to improve your construction management processes. So, although we will be focusing on some key features, which I will also highlight later on, but Fieldwire has several core functionalities that will help you save time, money, and improve the quality of your project deliveries. So, it is, as we all know, construction is quite fluid and it is always on the go. So we aim to be the same with our cloud based mobile application. You can be connected to the office from the field and manage your projects on the go. So, not just from your desktop, but as well as from your mobile devices. In terms of like the features that we will be focusing today, there's obviously a long list of features that help you iron out your workflows or digitize your workflows in Fieldwire. We will be focusing on the ones that's highlighted in red. So plans, tasks, forms, photos, RFIs, a little bit of variations, and then reporting as well. So we will be deep diving on these features. Before we actually get into the demonstration, just wanted to kind of like a quick give a quick run of like why QA/QC processes actually break down. I think a lot of people can understand this when I say that a lot of projects and the quality of the processes are still fragmented across multiple systems and there's disconnected workflows. So it might look like Excel for your snagging, paper copies for your inspections, site photos on your phones, email chains, and so on and so forth. So the result is often that the teams are often struggling to work out of outdated drawing revisions, missing inspection records, delayed defect resolution, poor visibility, limited accountability, and then difficult handovers at project closeout. So ultimately, this creates unnecessary rework, delays, compliance risks, and administrative overhead. So, what I think that as projects become more and more complex, Q and QC processes need to be more proactive, collaborative, and connected. So, what does an effective QA/QC actually look like? For most successful construction teams, it's actually mobile first, it's live, it's collaborative, standardized, photo driven, and easy to report on. Every issue or inspection that's done is documented in reports, and every
Looks like we've just lost Nikita there for a little bit, so we'll just give it a second for her to rejoin. One.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Nikita, we can hear you. We just can't see you or your screen.
Okay. Can you
There
see
you
me
are.
now? Okay. Great. Great
Yeah,
start.
you're back.
Um, I was just saying, in terms of like efficient or effective good QA/QC, it is something that shouldn't sit separately from your wider project processes. It should directly connect your drawings, revisions, RFIs, and defect management. So, project closeout at the end is what matters as well. So, this is exactly what I will be walking through as well into the live demonstration. So, I'll be switching my screen to the Fieldwire application right now. Before I actually start with the demonstration, if there can be a quick poll that everybody can answer, that would be great as well. Great. You can see a lot of responses, paper based, Excel. Get it. So I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. Perfect. So right now, what you can see right now is the Fieldwire screen. So we're gonna run through few things. I'm gonna take sort of like a practical example right now, which is a little bit realistic, and you teams might recognize as well who are from site. So throughout the demonstration, I will be seeing this web version of Fieldwire, but as well as this iPad version and a little bit in between as well. Now, let's start with the plans, which is the drawing management side of Fieldwire. Now, this is often where quality issues begin. So, I think one of the most common rework issues come up is because teams are working from outdated revisions or older revisions. So, as an example, let's say an architect has kind of like revised the ceiling plan, and then that revision has changed, M&E coordination changes, or some structural openings are revised mid project. So these are just some examples, but with Fieldwire, what I've done is I've uploaded a revision right now already into the system. What the system does, which is great, is it gives you a review option. So I've uploaded a newer version onto an older one. You can confirm with the system that if it is an newer version of an existing sheet, and that's going to slip sheet on the older version. So if I can open this one up. So this is an example of a floor plan that I've kind of like zoomed in right now. But you can always see the older version stacked up here. So they've got that dates. Now, if you go back and see the other revisions, there's always going to be like an old version watermark that follows along. So teams can never work out of a wrong drawing or older drawing over there. So if I go on to the newest drawing right now, most often you would want to kind of like see what the difference is between the two drawings. Usually this would look like, paper copies. You're going to use your markers and then mark those things up on your paper copies. But with Fieldwire, you can do it online in a digitized way. So I'm going to compare two revisions and see what the comparison actually looks like. But what this will give you is what we say in Fieldwire is red is dead and blue is new. So just gonna quickly refresh my screen now. Okay. So as you can see, everything that's been in the older version has come up as an red, and anything that's blue, it's new in the newer version. So you can see few layouts and then few kind of like rooms added here and there, room layouts changed. So this is a quick and easy way to see what the differences are. You can see it on your tablet, you can see it on the online version. So as long as the drawings are uploaded on Fieldwire, you will be able to compare and see the two revisions. Now, with this, more so often with the markups that you'd want to do on a paper copy, we have a list of toolbars here. So let's say I wanted to kind of like quickly highlight this area, okay, so that the teams know what the revision is, or maybe just for my own reference. The Fieldwire system is quite live and collaborated. So as soon as these markups are done, anybody who has access to this project and then anybody who is looking at these drawings will also be able to see this markup. So very live and collaborative. I can also maybe create sort of like an arrow and further put a note for the team as well. So layout changed. You can see that. You can just move things around there. That's it. So as you can see, that's there. You can highlight information for the team over there as well. With this, what you can also do is there's a list of markups which will help you sort of like compare and then make measurements as well. So over here, I can quickly understand what's the length or the width of this room. A tentative measurement can be created as well. So it's kind of like quick and easy to understand measurements and then do things over there. With this, you could also be dropping different files as reference copies. So let's say something's changed, installation manuals or something like that needs to be dropped. You can quickly create that hyperlink for the team as well. So anything like that can be dropped and easily accessed with the teams over there as well. So as an example, right now we've done few markups there. Can be a cluttered view for some people. So there's these option of like unticking the layers or all of the markup so that you can see all of this as well. Perfect. So this is what the plans or the drawing management side look like. Now, when it comes to tasks, okay? So as an example, let's say I'm gonna move on to the iPad screen right now. So as an example, let's say you're out on an inspection walk over there. You kind of need to see the revised drawings as well as review this area. So I can quickly open that plan up. Okay. Now, traditionally, someone might, take photos of from a phone or like make notes on a paper. With this, what we can do is quickly drop pins onto that area as well. So I can just drop a pin. Now, let's say as an example over here, there's incomplete fire stopping. I've just identified that over here. So I've given that as a title for this task so that everybody kind of like understands. Now, the key difference with this is I know everybody can, take photos, go back to their office, and then update their spreadsheets later on. With Fieldwire, everything happens at the point of discovery. So you don't have to do this hours later when you go back into the office. Now, tasks, as you can see, are really the backbone of a QA and QC management platform. So once you've kind of like given it a title, you can also further customize this. So let's say I can give this a category which is like QA QC. I can also assign it directly or very quickly to somebody in the system. Okay. This will give live notifications to the person who is the assignee as well. Any further things can be customized so that things like these can be done as well. So start and end dates. What this will do is this will also send notifications to the assignee closer to the due date to kind of like wrap up the work as well. So a lot of good things over there. With that, you also probably want to kind of like add photos and things like that into the actual task as well so that you can give more context. So I'll just upload a sample photo from Fieldwire as an example over here. Okay. Once that's done, that also stays in the same task window. So what happens over here is you've got this great audit trail of whatever changes that you've done, as well as photos and things like that added. Similar to what we sort of saw on the drawing side of things, you can mark up the actual photos as well to further highlight those issues there. So it's a quick and easy way of adding further context to the issues as well. So just coming back to my Fieldwire screen over here, you can see it's very quick, it syncs quite fast, and you can see all of those photos there. Now, there might be that a case where you want to add a checklist so that whatever work has been assigned to Nikita over here, she can quickly check off things from that as well. So I'm going to add an existing one that I created earlier on. So you can pre-create these checklists so that it's easy to kind of like tick off those. So if fire stopping is not installed over here, so that's not done. If anything's done, you can just tick those off, tick those things off. So it's quite quick and easy to do that. I think the main piece with tasks, important bit or the key benefit that comes through is that accountability and visibility. So there's always this person who's the assignee, they get notifications, as well as you can add more watchers into the system so that they kind of become people who have visibility onto what's happening into these tasks as well. Now, with this, as you can see, this is the plan where I drop the pin, okay, from my iPad. Everything is kind of like connected and brings things together. So it's tied to a particular location. Somebody is responsible to it, and the workflow is sort of like ironed out there. I can change the status in progress. The reason I'm doing that is if I go to tasks over here, This is what we call the Kanban view. But this gives you actually a full view or visibility of what's actually happening on the site. So right now, few customizable statuses added over here, but can be different for your projects. And there's few categories over here as well. So I've created few over here, put them onto the sort of like the in progress work, and that's the one that's happening over here. But if you prefer different views to understand site progress, we've got another view, which is a calendar view, a Gantt view, and then some analytics over here as well. So whichever you prefer helps you give more context to your project or what's happening on site. With this, I think I want to like quickly put in a poll as well. So I just wanted to understand a few things about your QA and QC. So if you can put those questions or answer that poll, that'd be great. Perfect. Tracking defects, closeout. We will be getting to the closeout bit as well. Communication, managing revisions. Great. Accountability across subcontractors. Really important piece, I think, to have an audit trail and then things where you can go back to, super important over there. So, um, as you can see on this task window, there's an audit trail, there's also timestamps, any other photos that maybe I add this sample one. We also have these date and timestamp over there. Just a second. What this will do is, so we've got this new feature where when you take a photo in Fieldwire, you will be able to see the date time. Right now the GPS is off, but you will be able to see the GPS stamp as well. So all we have to do is take photos and this should automatically come up on your photos as well. Great. Now, let's say I know this is tasks and how things can be moving along. Now, let's say during all of this remedial work that I'm carrying out, let's say I come across a detail that's not clear and I need more clarifications. So, what I will do is we can create RFIs and send it externally or internally to anybody as well. You can start creating these RFIs for clarification right from your tasks as well. So, as an example, let's say the penetration details might be different, or the drawing might simply lack some details. So these would be the things that could be a common example. So instead of your separate emails, Outlook, all of that, you can create RFIs directly. So I'll start an RFI right from this. So let's just create a new one there. Great thing about Fieldwire is once you start doing it from a task, you can automatically copy those photos as well. So you don't need to separately attach these photos again and again if you're trying to create an RFI as well. So I'll just copy photos, so makes things or makes my life easier. It kind of stays in this window over here. So there's this attached RFI. It's yellow because I'm still kind of like attaching, adding information. So I'll click onto this. The photos have automatically kind of copied over. You can post your questions. So let's say clarification needed, require fires, top details. Okay. At this point, maybe if it's something else, you can have a suggestion already. So you can suggest few things over here. You can also put a crop plan of the same thing. So I'll just use the same one. I'll just zoom in over here, crop this plan. So although the task has been pinned on the drawing, within the RFI as well, I can have the cropped copy attached into it for further context. Now with this, I guess you would have your own referencing structure for RFIs that you maintain. Fieldwire will help you maintain those as well. And then give further context into like if things are affecting your cost and schedule. So labor costs, additional labor costs will need to be scoped or something like that. You can add more notes into it. This is the task, so it's kind of like interlinked, and there's a golden thread that you can follow. So it's super interactive and dynamic, and you can see you can click onto different things and go back into the task itself as well. Now, what I'll do is I'll just put a due date over here, which is, let's say, next week. With Fieldwire, you can send RFIs externally as well. So right now, I'll just submit this question internally as well, but externally, let's do that. So I'll just put my alias's email address over there. Okay. At this point, you can have, as normally you would CC other people, you can have those people CC'd over there as well and add people as watchers as well. So an assignee will get a copy of the RFI. So everything that you've added right now will come as a PDF copy attached within the email as well. So right now it's open, it's gone out, the RFI is gone, and there's like an activity list as well. So again, coming back to the audit trail with Fieldwire, audit trail is super important and you get it with everything. So there's a date and time stamp even to the messages or questions over here. Now, if I move on to sort of like this email, my alias over here right now, you can see that email has come through. If I open that up, there's going to be like this PDF copy which is attached. So you don't need to do this automatically. Fieldwire will create this, and then what we can do is my alias can just reply on this sort of like this RFI thread or good, and then send. There might be, let's say, if it's like a revised drawing or something like that, they could be attaching documents into it as well so that you have the revised layout, and then send. So Chloe right now, which is my alias, does not require to be in Fieldwire to kind of like respond to my RFI email over them. So with this, it's kind of like quick and easy. You can see there's a dashboard. So on my side, I can see how many RFIs and in which status. So I think generally you would have an Excel where you would be kind of like tracking these things. But with Fieldwire, you can have all of those things over here. So yeah, incomplete fire stopping. I can see an email response has come in. If I click onto the activity thread, I can see this is what I responded from my alias account. That was the comment as well as that was the PDF. I can even download that PDF, which is over here. So I'll mark it as an answer because I'm quite happy with that answer. I've got the attachment as well, and I'll add it as an answer and then close this RFI by accepting it as well. With this, finally, I think it's super important when an RFI is happening, information can be siloed. I think phone calls given out to different people so that they are alerted that so and so RFI has been closed out. With Fieldwire, you can make this distribution list and send emails basically to everyone so that anybody who's related to this RFI can close out this thing. So you can have your personalized message here as well, and then accept and close. Now with this, as you can see, this has been closed out, and in case if for some reason you also wanted to kind of like generate a report and maybe have a snapshot of everything sent to, let's say, a company, you can kind of like make a quick PDF report as well. So it's super easy to kind of like export information once you've added that in Fieldwire as well. Now, with this, I think the most important value that we get with Fieldwire is that the defect, the location, the drawing, the photos, the communication thread, which was happening in the task, and then the RFI as well, it's all connected in one workflow or one golden thread. So this will massively improve traceability and reduce the risk of information getting lost across different communication threads or channels. So with this, Again, there's going to be a quick sort of poll coming in before we actually move into the variations bit very quickly. So this is going to be just to understand if variations or change orders is something that leads to, because of rework, it leads to variation. So just to understand that bit from your side. Great, can see very frequently, occasionally. Great. Yeah, I mean, if tasks are happening, if RFIs are happening, as an example that we took right now, quite common that there's going to be a revision or change in costs on your side as well. Perfect. So what I can do is now, let's say I'll go back to the same closed RFI over here. Okay, I'll open it up. I know the changes have happened, whatever the changes are there, I have a context of it. I can then start a link within this RFI as well. So just as we did for a task where we dropped a pin and then attached an RFI, I can start a change order from here as well. So I'll just use this existing example that I have. I've attached it over there. What happens with this, I know there's a change order which is kind of like happening. And if anybody looks at that RFI, they know these things are happening over there. So now all of the updated details have come up, change of scope. So you probably want to add or detail out those changes into costs as well. So there's different sections that can be filled out. Great thing is all of these can be actually preset. So few things over here has been preset for me right now. And then you can keep adding those materials over there. So could be fire colors there, and the costs are automatically going to calculate because I've kind of preset it. Same goes with the labor. Let's say there's going to be a supervisor that I'm going to kind of need, operator needed on site as well. Let's say for 6 hours and things like that. So you can keep adding these things as well as equipment as well. Let's say for a day there. And any other things that you would see more applicable when it comes to more commercial aspect of changes. So markups, things like that can be added there as well. So let's see, I'll just put 5% on my materials there, and that should calculate things as well. Now, if needed, you can add more attachment to these things as well as further context. I agree there would be systems and then copies that you would need to kind of like attach within this change order from Fieldwire. So you can attach those things. And then it's a similar workflow that we showed and kind of like went through the RFI, but you can either request these costs from, let's say, a subcontractor or submit for approval to your client or your main contractor there as well. So it goes from both the chains over there that if it's needed. So with this, I think with this variation, we can clearly break down the operational impact into like different areas like labor material as well. So it becomes incredible valuable when teams are managing, let's say, as an example, like multiple large state changes across projects, and you kind of need like a clear audit trail which links to each other. So this is amazing when it comes to that. And then with that, what we can do is now, let's say, all of these changes are done. The task, the remedial works is done. So coming back to the task over here, which is this, what I can do is, since all of this has been confirmed, the revised detail has come in, anything that's additional has been completed on site, I can now move on to the final stage with the QA, wherein what I can do is just drag and drop this into ready for inspection. So with this, if needed, what I can do is put a quick note into this comment box over here as well. So additional, oops, um, file work done, ready for inspection, and then assign it to whoever we will be kind of like assigning it to. You can then change the assignee over here as well. This also gives kind of like a live notification. So I've got a ping on my iPad over there as well. So with this, I think this all of the information is there, and now it's ready for inspection. What we also have is a forms area in Fieldwire where you could be actually tracking your inspection records within it. So let's say I start attaching the form within this task itself as well. So I'll just do a new one as an example there. I've put a sample fire door inspection report there. So I'll just put level 03, create that. Again, all of these things are interconnected into a task itself as well. So with this, what I can do is start filling out this information over here. So I can give a project title there. Yeah. Any kind of door referencing structure that you have, location. So all of these things can be customized where you can build this form or create this template from scratch, and then it will be suitable for your teams, as easy for your teams to kind of like fill this information. Few checkboxes, so similar to the checklist items that we had. If something's not okay, you can add further comments to it, and so on and so forth. So a few sections there that I can fill in. And then finally, any kind of like recommendations, which usually would come in with this case. So you can have that area as well. Any kind of different photos, as an example, can be attached as well. So I'm just repurposing photos from the project there, but you could be adding or taking photos directly into this as well. And then finally, signing over here. So I think an important bit when it comes to forms is like making sure there's a proper audit trail as well as proper signatures there to make sure or ensure things have been signed off. So I can just add my name and then sign them. So this will give me an audit trail in terms of date, time, any of my details that have been added. So I had added my role and company, so those things get added over here as well. So it's quite powerful when it comes to, like, let's say as an example, pre-board inspections, any kind of fire stoppings, daily reports, commissioning inspections. So instead of like actually carrying out your clipboards out on site and scanning this paperwork later on into folders, we site team can actually complete these inspections directly from the tablet or from your laptop while standing in the room itself as well. So it's kind of like doing it there and there instead of waiting to come back on site to complete this form. With this, I can just change in case if something's failed. I can do it to failed or pass as well. So this is where the form gets locked and information is locked. If needed, we can export this PDF very quickly. More so, often you might need to kind of send across this form as a PDF copy. So you could be either adding them as email distribution lists within Fieldwire or just sending out this PDF simply through email as well. So that's what the form looks like. Now, I think in terms of like QA/QC, a lot of information has been added. Teams are working in Fieldwire right now, but you would need to like close out. So at the end of, let's say, handover, close out, you might need to report out these things. So sometimes what happens is you have all of this information, but collating this information might take hours or even days to do that. So as long as the information is here, we can quickly generate reports over here. So as an example, I have this closeout report here. Few ways to do that could be a summary or could be a detailed one or a CSV as well. So these things come in handy if you wanted to have an Excel understanding of the tasks. So CSV comes in handy. But as an example, this is a closeout report, which I kind of already set. You can choose to include what you want to show in this reporting. So I think messages could be something that you probably don't want to put into a report that you want to send externally, so you can deselect that, but include full size plans, table of contents, just for neater look of the report. And then on the right hand side is where we can further customize depending on what type of report. So right now I've just ticked closed. So anything that's closed, I just want to know those tasks and the information within it. I don't want to know all of the 33 tasks and what's happening there. Further on, you can also kind of like customize by different, let's say, as an example, plans as well. So you can choose a floor and have those tasks exported as well. And you can download this report or automate it. So I think this is really, really handy or really robust when it comes to like weekly reports. You probably are trying to collate all of the photos at the end of the week on a Friday, or on a Monday to kind of like show what happened on the previous week. So with this, you can automate reports and you can add everybody's email address who needs to get that report as well. So that's quite good in Fieldwire. Once downloaded, I've just downloaded already a example of it. You will have your logo. So right now it's Fieldwire's name of the project, any kind of details like addresses have been added there. Table of contents. So few tasks. So these are the ones that came in over here, and then you can click on to one particular task, and it takes you directly to that particular task details as well. So drywall patching, I had a pin dropped previously there, so there's a mini map. Any other details like the assignee, what kind of status has come up, and then any kind of like attachments like photos over here has come up as well. So it's quick and easy to understand for everyone who's reading this report to actually what happened on the task. And then finally, you will have this full size plan with all of the pins dropped there as well. So any kind of markups, things like that, they would come up as well if there were any on these. So I think um, this is like I think one of the biggest challenges towards the end of the projects, which is gathering defects or like inspection records or QA evidence, and then progress updates as we mentioned. So like multiple stakeholders involved, multiple subcontractors involved. So this can come in really, really handy where you have one system where it brings together all of that information. So project teams can quickly generate all of these reports, and instead of spending Friday afternoons kind of like manually compiling all of this information, maybe for your client meeting or your handover packs, it's just going to be a few clicks away. Reporting is just a few clicks away. So ultimately, I think it's all about ROI or having a business impact. So, reducing all of your admin, improving visibility, resolving issues earlier instead of later, and being more proactive about your QA QC. I think um, this is what improves the QA QC of a project, as well as ultimately gives you the admin or the ROI um, positivity at the end of a project or at the end of a closeout as well. So um, this is all I had in terms of like demonstration, but I will be also opening up now for any kind of like questions from the team as well. So I think there's some chat going on. So maybe Gurdeep, if you can maybe fill me in.
Hi, Nikita. Thank you for that. So Megan has been asking in the chat if there is a way in which we can get an export of all site reports. So I was thinking on a project by project basis how we can mass export forms.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, in terms of like your inspections or things like that, all of that. So, as an example, in the forms bit, what you have, I have like 6 total forms created. There might be more in your case. You can just select all of these actions and then export forms in a PDF format. So, this will give me sort of like a zip file and my email with all of the PDFs over there as well. This is all of them, but if you wanted a particular template, let's say as an example, this is daily report only, it's the same thing again, selecting actions in that export, PDF or CSV, whichever suits best for you as well. Yeah, does that answer?
Thank you, Nikita. Yes. We have another question in the chat from Tamsin, and this is about the RFIs. So Obviously, when we link a task to an RFI, we have a drawing that's sort of pinned onto that task. Tamsin would like to know if there's a way we can reference other drawings within an RFI that's not linked to the task itself.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. So obviously, there's this cropped plan which I went through previously. So this is just like highlighting few areas onto the plan itself over here. You can do that. So you can be attaching multiple crop plans over there, or just attaching it as a file, or just uploading it from here. So this is basically anything which is in Fieldwire. In the file section gets attached over there, but I think the best thing over here would be just dropping them as new upload and just dragging and dropping those other plans over here. So there's like a reference copy of those files there.
Thank you, Nikita.
Great.
So we have a question from Alex. Is there a way for Fieldwire forms to link to a designated SharePoint folder? Nikita, I believe this is something that we have got upcoming in our product roadmaps at the moment. There isn't anything that links the forms directly to SharePoint, but we have that upcoming within the next 6 months or so is when we plan to release something on that. I don't know if you want to add anything onto that, Nikita, there.
No, you're absolutely right on that one. So currently we have like a one-way sync for plans and files, which is SharePoint to Fieldwire, where information can get passed on from SharePoint to Fieldwire. But very soon, exactly what you're kind of like asking upon is something that the product team is heavily working upon as well. So very soon, if you have an account manager, executive, or a CSM that works with you, just let them know and we can update you whenever that feature is released.
Yeah. I think we just lost your audio just a little bit there, Nikita. So just to summarize what you said, I believe you said that obviously with plans and files, we have the one-way integration between SharePoint and Fieldwire. So anything that you've got uploaded onto SharePoint will, as long as the folders are connected, will push through directly to your Fieldwire. In terms of when the updates to the form section come about, if you speak with your either your account manager or your customer success manager, if you have one, and they can keep you updated on any developments. Is that a good summary of what you said, Nikki? Sorry, we just lost you there a little bit.
No, sorry about that. I'm not sure
Yeah.
the internet, but thank you for that. That's exactly what I said.
And then just to be clear, because we've got a few more questions on the mass export of forms, there isn't a way in which we can generate an export across all projects, is there?
There is this sort of generate report function over here. So this is basically if I just do a new report. This is cross project, but restricted to the tasks function over there as well. So all of your projects, whichever you choose, you can choose them and then sort of set what are the tasks that you need to be exported upon. I think this is at a basic level, which gives you an idea what's happening at the different kind of like projects. We also have this dashboard function, which might help you kind of like understand what's happening in different projects and different tasks, which is very dynamic. Very soon, we will be able to export this dashboard information as well. So I think that's something that can come in handy, which includes forms, which will help kind of like your question there, where like you will be able to understand what's happening with forms there.
Thank you, Nikita. So we have another question on languages. So there's one about spell checker, but there's also about being able to change languages from English US to English UK. I don't know if you could go through that. Yeah.
Yeah, so on your home dashboard over here, you've got, I think, I'm not sure what the number of languages is here, but you have GB, which is your UK language, or UK English, or US American English, which can be changed as well. So you should be able to switch between these languages, and the dashboard will be updated for you.
Okey dokes. I have a question here from Arson. So Arson has 400 projects on his Fieldwire and wants to distribute them amongst employees. In terms of assignable projects, the maximum number is 200. Is there a way in which we can increase that limit?
Increase the limit of the number of projects?
Yeah, so in terms of how many people you can invite to a project.
Ah, I see. Okay, yeah. So I see there's a long list of people. Is it 400 that he mentioned? Would be the number of people. We can look into
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we can look into that. Is something that the
Yeah. We can, I think, Arson, if what the best thing would be is to maybe reach out to your customer success manager or your account manager as well to ask them more information on that. Is something that we can kind of look into to see on a case by case basis as well. Just having a look through the rest of the questions now. Sorry, there's lots of questions in the chat box. I'm just making sure we've covered them all. Bear with me a second.
Noise.
Okay. I think that's all of them. I'll just check if there's any more questions in the chat. I don't think anyone's put anything else in there at the moment, and I think we've answered all the main ones there. But yeah.
Great, perfect. I think really good questions from the team as well. So really appreciate the time taken to attend this webinar today and being more kind of like interactive as well. So thank you so much for this. Just very quickly, I'm just gonna run through a few things here. Anything in terms of like previous webinars, we have different kind of like resource hubs for you over here, wherein all of these webinars are recorded and we can look back at it. So there is one going to be by Gurdeep in September as well. So probably going to be a customer panel. So really exciting one. So do sign up for that whenever a link goes out. So that's about it. I think if you are looking to kind of like request a demo with Fieldwire, the team would be happy to get in touch with you. So there might be a link that's popping up in the chat, so you can just use that link to kind of like request a demo and add some information, and the team should reach out to you as well. So perfect. That's really it. There's also going to be a survey that is going to come out right now. So if you can all kind of like give us feedback to make things better, that would be great. But really appreciate your time and involvement today. Thank you so much.